Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and I'm joined by Susan today, which we are going to be discussing a movie from 1987, um, which parodies late night TV channel hopping, B movies, and skits. Um,
It's all of those things.
it's about 20 odd sketches all rolled into one movie. We are talking Amazon Women on the Moon.
Mhm.
Never seen this before, and I'll tell you now, I won't be seeing it again. No, I'm only joking. It's it's not everybody's cup of tea. This, I think, the humour in this, because I'm a Brit, Susan's a Yank, and the humour divides our two countries.
Yes, it does.
Very, very different type of humour we have in the two separate countries.
Very.
Now, without further ado, Susan, your opening thoughts on Amazon Women on the Moon?
All right. Well, it's like they were there in my basement while I was watching the bad movies in the 80s or 70s. It was great fun. Um, it it had a lot of like there was one story. Pauses. Yeah, it was sorry about that. It was funny. It was like they were there watching when I was sitting in the basement watching battle movies and stuff like that. And they used to have uh USA's up all night groovy movies and stuff, and like that was really what this was like the groovy movies. It was like Groove Tube. It was like uh Monty Python. It was like the SNL, what those guys did after SNL, those kind of fun movies. And I don't, but this one tried some things, and so it was trying some edgy stuff, but especially the woman who was walking around in the nude and ends up going to church in the nude, and you know
I can do every Sunday.
like you do every Sunday if you're part of the papal mainframe. But that's a different show anyway. Um, we When we watched it, Alex went right on to watching Kentucky Fried Movie, and I think that like that's kind of where we're at. It's like that. It's pretty similar to GrooTube and Kentucky Fried Movie and this and yeah. So I think that there's a that there. I mean, it's short sketches, so no characters, just fun humor bits, and that's really all it was. Anyway, and we didn't see too many Amazon women, and we didn't see too much on the moon, except for men walking around in their spacesuits, and you know,
Yeah,
it's like what we set out to review this week was two things that were just basically, you know,
wasn't there?
like like uh not truth in advertising. That's for crying out loud. Yeah, they're a bunch of liars. It's like, yeah, it's a bit of a joke. Anyway, so that may be the joke on us this weekend, since it was just, we're just tootling through April. I guess we can attach these two things to April Fools, but yeah, anyway. What, yeah, back over to you. What do you think of the,
Well, I've never seen this movie before, and I won't be rushing back to watch it all over again.
actually?
Um, hmm, I can see what the sketch parodies, sketches put into a movie, been done before, and a lot better by the British. As you've mentioned, Monty Python did it far, far better.
They did it all the time, and they were
Yeah. See, this is it. It's unrelated sketches. The only thing what's in relation through the movie is it's channel hopping, it's cable TV. That's the only connection. A B movie, but otherwise, there's no connection between any of the sketches really. Some of the sketches work, but I would say 90% of those sketches just suck. I'll be 85% of the sketches suck.
Yep.
The rest, some of them, you do think, oh, that's quite funny, but the rest of it, I wasn't even laughing. Was the trying too hard? I don't know.
That's maybe what it was, but
yeah, I mean, there was some well-known names in this, really. Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm just looking at this now. Rosanna Kate, Steve Guttenberg, just to name a few. I wonder if they look back on this and think, why did we do this?
yeah, the thing that was surprising was that Carrie Fisher was in this.
Yes, Carrie Fisher, the last segment after the credits.
Yeah, and Griffin Dunn was in it.
Yeah. There's even BB King was in it.
King was in it. Yep.
Yeah. But some of the sketches, I mean, as you mentioned, the sketch about the female porn star walking around everyday life in the nude,
Yep.
walking around shopping malls and going to church and all like that. It wasn't funny. It was there to that was there to shock.
With her and lingerie, but the thing is, this is before the internet, so.
Apparently, they did a version of her of that sketch.
I think there's 3 versions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the version I watched, she was completely nude.
Yep.
So
the one guy who ends up completely nude in his sketch, and
you see that was more funny than
as he was walking like all there was always a piece of furniture in the way.
Yes.
His naughty bits.
And that was Ed Begley Jr., I think it was.
Yeah, it was Ed Begley Jr.
Yeah. That was quite funny, that sketch, because it was the Invisible Man. He thought he was invisible, so he didn't wear no clothes. So he was going around the pub, doing all this, that, and the other. Everybody was saying, "Oh, it's him again," which that was one of the sketches what worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good sketch. I mean, the sketch for what was it now? BB King sketch, Blacks Without Soul.
Oh yeah. What was his name? What was that guy's name? Anyway.
David Alan Grier was the
David Alan Grier
singing all the White songs. Yeah.
Don No Soul Simmons.
Which he redid on In Living Color again, like 2 years later.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, this is like, ripping off Kentucky Fried Movie, but it's not. And then it's like before the internet and all the, the softcore porn on cable, all the, see what we can get away with, see what you can do before there's, too many complaints.
I mean, so I don't know. I don't know who came up with the idea of some of these sketches. Yeah. I mean, the First Lady, was a former hooker
Uh-huh.
I thought, what's going on here?
That's making fun of the Happy Hooker Goes to Watch
Yeah.
film series. That's what
You're saying you had Carrie Fisher at the end with a reckless youth,
Yeah. That was,
getting the sexual transmitted diseases.
yeah.
I mean, it was played. She played it seriously as well. There was no, on her part, there was no comedy coming from her.
Right. She was deadpan.
He was really deadpan in this. Who else was there? I'm just. Henry Silver's in that show, Bullshit or Not,
Yeah.
which I thought was quite funny because trying to make out that Jack the Ripper was the Loch Ness monster.
Yep.
Oh dear.
I mean that is something that's kind of a big thing here in the US. Is like at late night TV, there's always there's always some show that's like putting forth these incredible urban legends and other stuff. And then there's also late night radio in the United States that used to have this thing called USA Coast or America Coast to Coast or Coast to Coast America. Anyway, which also does all those like, is climate change real? I mean, is the world actually flat? All those things.
We've got loads and loads of channels with TV shows like that.
Yeah, that they are on TV, but this is usually a late night thing and usually a late night radio thing. Anyway, so yeah, that was really funny that they were like, and this they have all these things that like are like showing people, and then boom, then they show the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, which I thought made me giggle. When the Loch Ness monster turned up there, he was a hat and cape, great
big, yeah, trench coat.
Yeah, I mean, so that was one of the sketches what worked for me.
Yeah, and set it in England, and boom, there you go. It's already better.
The Invisible Man sketch was England.
What's that now?
Wasn't it? The Invisible Man sketch in this movie was set in England as well.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
No, but this is why them sketches work for me then.
So you're just culturally offended by most American things. I get it.
No, but
No.
no, but the other movie that we didn't review that's very hard to get, the Groove Tube.
Yeah, I
where
mentioned
it's
that.
The same idea, but that's like in the 60s. So they show like
Chevy Chase and that
right,
one.
but the one that they showed, I just saw it on the internet, was the beer ad. So in a way it was true, and in a way it wasn't. Like, it was a really bad name of a beer, really silly.
Yeah.
They go in, they drink themselves silly, and then they're even hitting them. They're hitting up the
bottles on their heads.
Yeah, they're hitting each other with bottles and all that. The same thing, just like with the Heidi Creationers. You've had a hard day of passing out a trip. So it's like that whole like, what was the name of the guy, Lee? What was it, Spike Jones or Spike Mulligan in England that had John Cleese was helping him, where they jump like. So in a way, to me, it's like Monty Python in the fact that it's fast.
Yeah, we did that. We
right, but it's the whole like jumping from like fake news reports to fake commercials to.
Oh, you're about Spike Milligan.
Yeah, yes. To animation. I mean, it is a similar school. It's not quite as raunchy necessarily, but
just not as good.
Alex thinks it's funny, and he went off and watched some more stuff like that. I thought it was funny, and just but I knew what Lee would say was because there were some things that
I have seen the Kentucky Fried movie.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, this movie here is a bad imitation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we should do that one in the future, because I'd rather watch a good one than. The character of the guy, the black guy without soul, which,
Yeah.
I mean, because he played all my favorite songs from from when I was a baby, like infant Susie's favorite songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. It's just there you go.
well,
Like,
no, but
I
that,
was
you
raised
know,
really, really white, and that's
yeah,
just
but
a
I mean,
really
yeah. So that's the other thing too. It's not that you don't have soul. It's the fact like it's like watching the Brady Bunch versus the Partridge Family. You know that the Partridge Family bumped into some black people once in a while. Brady, you weren't too sure.
Yeah, right.
But you know, I mean, even I was like, I know deep down they're nice people, but it's like this is so white. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it is.
Yeah. So that
So,
was a really funny. It was
yeah.
funny and painful because it showed like my upbringing was so white. Oh
No,
my
but I mean,
God.
no, but I mean, Weird Al Yankovic is cool, and originally he was a polka,
Yeah.
you know,
The polka isn't
the accordion
polka
thing.
isn't only white. It's like most. Okay.
It's
Anyway.
very no, but what I'm saying is no, it's cool. But what I'm saying is it's very hard to tell that it's cool. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But the funny thing is like so you have like this whole school of comedy from like 69 to 89 of like you know infomercials, commercials.
Oh yeah,
You've
that's right.
got,
Those
you know,
those funny in commercials between and like the movie would be only be on the Amazon Women on the Moon movie that was ostensibly the reason for this thing.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have it on for more than like 4 minutes, and then they're back into a new commercial. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe. I mean that's like watching some of those like infotainment shows on our TV right now, like Extra and
Yeah, I mean, they kept out. Well, they were making out they was having problems with the film. We'll be back there in a
oh
few
yeah,
more.
the expanding bubble of the
Yeah,
film
yeah,
melting.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like the segments with the Amazon Women on the Moon because they were taking the piss out of B movies, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, right.
And watching those with the special effects with the rocket in space and all like that, that's how that's how the B movies used to be.
Uh-huh.
So they got that spot on, and they even had a little pet monkey in it as well, which made my day.
Yeah, that was great.
But as I say, no, Amazon Women.
yeah, so you had that era from like 59 to 89. And so you would see like all these like, you know, that's how USA got started was.
Yeah, well, I already mentioned
Yeah,
USA,
yeah,
the
they
Up
would
All
show
Night.
those- yeah, they would show like, you know, Night Flight, which was videos, and sometimes it wasn't.
And
sometimes
Liquid
it was-
Sky.
Right, and
And
sometimes it was short films.
and
So
even
the
Sid
whole
and
era.
Nancy was shown on that, but I mean, like there were some good stuff that they showed, but then there was some like really, oh, what are we doing here? Sort of movies. But anyway, that's great. It's it's fun. It's fun that these were that it was taking the Mickey out of what you like so much too.
I mean, also as well, we got the little sketch with the teenager trying to buy a packet of condoms, which I thought was quite good and so embarrassed for the kid.
Yeah,
I know.
the Titan, and he couldn't even find a use for it because the girl walks off in the middle of it.
And he got a year's supply.
And he's got a year's supply, but his girlfriend just left him. Because she didn't want anybody to know that they were hooking up either. I was like,
His face was on the billboards advertising it from there on in.
yeah.
I mean, that was when it comes to embarrassment in a sketch, that was funny.
But that was almost like the Twilight Zone of what you don't want to have happen before and after sex.
Right.
I mean, anyway, I'm still in all the things here, Susie. Anything what?
No. We're just I like the Soul Man Without Soul. That was I mean, because literally all those songs were like my favorites as a baby, as an infant. You know, first all the folk songs and top 40 easy listening songs from the 70s, anything like that. That was what I used to listen to.
This Barry Manilow stuff and worse.
Yep. Anyway, that was.
I wonder whose idea it was to put the Carrie Fisher segment after the credits?
I don't know, but that's something that we do all the time now. But
We do now, but back in 1987, I wonder how many people
that's really good.
walked out of the theatre when the credits started rolling.
Yeah.
Well, just like Ferris Bueller said, what are you doing here? Go home.
Yeah.
So you got the whole, so you got that whole, that whole. Now, what did you think of the funeral roast?
Crikey.
It
wasn't that funny.
I mean, it's funny in a way, and in a way, it isn't funny because that's the other thing. Like you have this American thing where
the roasters, the guys on the stage, they just did their usual shtick, their usual bit. Like
they're all American comedians, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they all did their catchphrase and their shout out line and like all the other things.
Well, no, but
that were part of their act, and then they made it about this guy in the funeral, and then the uncomfortable bit is when his wife goes up there and she slips into that, and she just becomes just as raunchy. It's like the have you ever heard of the Aristocrats, which is like the worst possible joke on anyway. That's what I was thinking.
No, but I mean, and unfortunately, there's like the American thing of, like, if you're watching a movie, you got the trope of whoever it is isn't really dead.
Yeah.
You got the American thing of, oh, you have to be like totally, depressed and grief-stricken and crying for, years just because somebody died. So you've got like that weird and then you got the roasting, which then started reminding me of the internet, even though that was after this movie.
Yeah.
Where you're making fun of people while they're still alive. You're being so cruel.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. It's like all these thoughts are going through my head. Like, I like it, but I don't like it, but I still kind of like it a little bit, but it's like, okay, so did they have to pay a lot? Because that's the new complaint now is that, with the COVID, unfortunately, and all the other things, the funerals are so expensive. So
well, back in the day, it wasn't as bad, but it is. That's a good.
You also had the old guy who was zapped into the TV by his remote.
Yeah.
In his undies, in his pants.
Now the funny thing is that was a Barney Miller character actor. They did a similar thing with John Ritter in the movie Stay Tuned like 4 years afterwards.
And then it was part of what was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Mike TV.
Yeah, Mike TV.
Yeah, well, I'm positive. I could be wrong, but I'm sure I remember a sketch on the Benny Hill show where this with the remote thing was happening.
Huh.
But that was before this movie was made. I'm positive. I could be wrong. My memory could be playing tricks on me, but.
Well, I mean, yeah. The other funny thing is,
it's not the first person in this weekend's cast to have a memory issue.
Also, that's another American paranoia thing about, oh, it's the boob tube, it's the idiot tube. You'll, if you watch it too much, your eyes will go bad. You lose reality. I think that's what they were trying to sort of say, even though the point of the sketch was either like in the other movies that have done it, you either turn it off and then you come back out, or you have to get the manual, and he lost the manual. So it was so funny how they jump between like a Disney movie and a softcore porn, and he liked that. Then he unfortunately came out where Reagan and Nancy had just gone down the steps of the hilarious. Secret Service, comes in. But these were the same people that came up with Airplane and Top Secret and all that, right?
Who was it? Who directed this? It was who directed it? That's a good question. Oh, it's directed by about 5 people.
Yeah, wasn't it the Zucker brothers, the Zuckers?
No, it was Joe Dante.
Yeah. Well,
Joe Dante, Carl Gottlieb, Peter Gordon, John Landis, and Robert K. Weiss.
Oh no, but he worked with the Airplane guys.
Okay.
So yeah, so okay, I'm thinking of the first. I'm thinking of Kentucky Fried. So that whole thing of like just like now they do it again, where they didn't break the fourth wall per se. That's not true. But the sort of what are you watching? You have to go with it, type of ambiance. Where now you would just turn it off, or it would just constantly stream, and you wouldn't care. That's the only problem now with the internet, is that now nobody would care. What's streaming and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, watching this as well. If people of the younger generation today watch this movie, the segment with the video pirates,
Yeah, the video part. Yeah,
where they get aboard the other ship and they've got all these laser discs, all the VHS collection, Betamax. I mean, the kids of today wouldn't even know what that sketch was about.
well,
Sure.
the problem is now would be streaming video pirates or Twitch pirates, where it would be. But the funny thing is, like the laser disc, it was a good idea. The problem is the execution was so bad, and just like Beta had a better picture than VHS, but they didn't have the market, and they didn't have the field.
And they weren't making players.
Right, and they weren't
That's
making
the
players.
that's the issue. That was
Yeah.
the only issue with Betamax, is that they weren't producing any players. They were producing a total, like a pantload of VHS players and super VHS players. It was just like that was.
And the funny thing is, of course, this was made before streaming, before internet, before YouTube.
Yeah.
So I was telling Susan the other day, I can't remember what I was watching. I was watching a series, and I knew they were going to pull it off of YouTube. And I watched the whole season before they yanked it off of YouTube. Like, oh, good. So
that is going to be made
Yeah.
fun of in the future.
Yeah,
that really will
They
be.
didn't. So I don't think they had, and they didn't understand like the FBI warning either.
Oh yeah.
Because unless you turn your computer into a full server and you're throttling the internet traffic, they wouldn't understand. Because I don't know if they know the story about that California guy that was like trying to go to like 40 theaters and record all the movies, even when everybody was telling him stop, and he still did it. And then they found the whole thing where he was trying to make 5 million copies, and then he realized he didn't go to jail, prison, and get fined. It's like,
I know.
dude, no, dude, no, everybody's watching you.
Yep.
So, anything else you want to say, Susan?
No, that's it.
So, go on then. I'll leave it to you with your final say and score then.
Yeah, I'll give it a 9 out of 10 for the funny.
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
We're forgetting a movie. We just mentioned him, Lee. Weird Al Yankovic. Remember when he was doing UHF? Where he ran that channel?
Yeah, UHF was very similar.
Yeah. Where he had like,
But
Gandhi and all that. Yeah.
yeah,
So
Gandhi Part 2, he's back and he's fully armed or something like that.
Yeah. He also knows how to party.
And he knows
And
how
all
to
that stuff,
part.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you had so many famous people in that, including Michael Richards from Seinfeld
Yeah, but that
and all those other,
yeah, there were a few like movies like that, especially GrooveTube. I used to own GrooveTube, and I'd watch it frequently because it was the fun. All right, maybe I would give the GrooveTube a 9, and then this one like a 7. I'll give this one a 7 because just the reminder of GrooveTube being so sort of like more
cutting edge
and more interesting to me. The music was different anyway. Yeah, so 7 out of 10.
Oh, well.
7 out of 10 laser discs.
Well, it's difficult for me because there's only a few sketches what I liked.
Yep.
And the rest of it just fell flat for me. So I'll give it 4.
Okay, that is
4 pack of Titans out of 10.
We're back to Titan.
So Lee, let me ask a question now. Now I know that in America, now I know it's not 100% true, but there is the stereotype of not only the better accent and the more, the better pronunciation of words and the you and all that other stuff. But I mean, is any British TV, has it ever been like that where you have like all this weird stuff like, infomercials and call now and do you want a loan and do you want to buy insurance and all this other, do they have that on every TV show or just certain channels?
There's certain channels with advertising.
Because we don't have like a national network like you have BBC, and that's
There's no advertising on the BBC as yet.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to change that.
Oh, I think there might be.
Yeah. There's no money in the old fashion. And what the senior citizens don't have to pay constantly like they used to. Because wasn't that a big Monty Python complaint in the 60s was you had to pay so much to the BBC and you had to pay all that?
It's a complaint every year because it keeps going up and up.
Yeah, so I mean, like what?
So-
It's like what 300 or whatever now.
I don't know what it is now, to be honest.
But so
Anyway.
so that's the thing is that you have to remember that it is kind of the American thing of all these
Anyway,
cheesy things and what you can get away with and what you can
Yeah.
sell on the radio and the TV. And then you also have shows where they comment about something that happened 5 years before and you find out it was a scam or whatever, but they bought airtime. They spent, 25 on the East Coast or, 40,000 on the West Coast just to sell something. Does that happen in England too much?
no, they don't
No,
have advertising.
So they don't sell like scams and stuff on TV?
Well, they wouldn't be allowed to.
Oh. Okay, so they don't. Yeah.
So, anyways, let's get back to our little final say, our little goodbyes. Thank you, Susan and Alex, for your little inputs into this review.
Yep. Thanks.
Thanks.
You guys out there, please comment below. Let us know what you thought of this movie. Please, I really would love to hear what people have to say about this one. Also, if you would like to join our group, leave a comment or message me. We're on social media, Twitter, Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram. Just leave us a message. You've got to be 18 plus. Tablet, PC, laptop, anything, mobile phone, as long as you've got a working microphone and camera. That's all we are.
We also have access to Zoom.
Zoom, yeah, which is freely available. So, and the only other thing what I need to tell you about is when you subscribe to our channel, please press the bell notification button and you will get notified every time we put up a video, which is usually maybe twice a week these days. And we do anything, movies, TV shows, audio dramas, you name it, from any genre, any decade. We even review things even before movies was invented.
Yep. It's
No,
true.
that's a lie. No, that's a lie. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to big us up here, Susan.
Okay. Well, I think it was true because actually we've reviewed stuff that was part of the written genre that this could turn into, like Shakespeare turned into
We review
reviews.
we review stuff even before the Big Bang happened.
That's true. Science fiction is it does do that. He's right. He's right, of course. That's right. He is right.
And on that bombshell, it's time to say goodbye, folks. Until
Adieu.
next time. Adieu. Adieu.